lot that this patrol could be doing off the trail. So the Monteagle Trail Alliance purchased cameras for the Monteagle Police Department for their use on the trail, and they were helpful in an incident that happened, it's been almost a year ago now.
They've been actually helpful in several instances, actually.
And
so, yes.
We just got, that we being the Monteagle Trail Alliance, have just gotten a proposal that we finally like that will help us implement sort of continuous monitoring that'll allow us to have eyes.
The 911 center?
No, so I've talked to Don a couple of times through the 911 center, and what we're going to give them access to it, but rather than have the live monitor, it'll be just continuous loop, so that if there is an incident, we'll be able to go back and look, and that'll upload to the cloud all the time. We wanted to make sure we had a scalable solution because we're building a lot of trail. And so it took us a while to find a scalable cloud solution, but those should be deployed within the coming months, and then any law enforcement professional will have access to them.
One other thing that I got, what's your feeling about the license plate readers? Would that be something that would be beneficial to the town of Monteagle law enforcement?
100%. I don't know if many people follow the Nashville area or Mount Juliet in particular. But Mount Juliet's probably literally one of the safest places you can go right now because they have so many license plate readers. They were able to, I don't want to say convince, okay, because that's kind of a hard word, but they were able to show the benefit of what a license plate reader does. So when a vehicle's stolen, or there's been a murder or whatever heinous crime, or let's say I've got warrants out for me, those warrants can be attached to my vehicle. Now, what is the downfall of that? I might pull you over and I'm thinking that I'm going to get John Doe and it might be his mom. So, but license plate readers are extremely, they'd be extremely helpful, and I would say that we'd have four would benefit the town. One on each side of the interstate, and one coming up the side that might be coming up from Pelham, and the other one coming from Tracy City. That would ensure that if we have kidnapping, or anytime that we have something that goes into our 911 dispatch, into the CAD system for an alerts, we would have a better opportunity to catch that.
Is that something you can work on, a proposal or information for us?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for the police department. The other thing, TDOT project, somebody said has been scaled back. Mayor, have we been, or Nate, or whoever?
There will be a meeting September 11th, 5:30 to 7 by TDOT to answer those questions.
Here?
I don't think it'll be scaled back. I think they've done all the scaling. They want the budget to equal the contract. I think they've reached that point, and we'll see what they have to tell us. September 11th, 5:30 to 7 here.
Okay, and then our road striping project for Wren's Nest improvements on the public safety of Wren's Nest. Can you give us an update on that?
What do you want to know?
Where we at?
What do you mean?
You were going to talk to some people about coming in and striping, doing some improvements there on Wren's Nest Road.
We did some of that.
They did. They put some yellow striping to delineate the lines between a right, what should be a right and a left turn. They've got arrows. Problem is the left turn lane has an arrow that's going straight, which drives you right into the grass in the interstate. So that needs to be changed to flip over to a left-hand turn. Ultimately, and I'm hoping that this is part of I'm going to ask TDOT about this. I'm hoping that there will also be some markers coming into that roundabout of what's 24 east versus what's 24 west, because that's the biggest problem of people coming out of Wren's Nest, is they don't understand that you turn left when you're going to go to Nashville. You're coming out of Wren's Nest, you turn left and then you do a little hook to get on the ramp instead of going back against traffic to try and swerve into the
Well, that's what September 11th will be about, so you can certainly ask them then, but
they did paint. Just one of the arrows is wrong.
Okay. The last thing, two things. I'm assuming that if we, at our next workshop, I would like to see us discuss the pros and cons of hiring additional part-time help for the water department to address the overtime issue?
Yeah, we're going to look at all that, thank you.
Is that going to be in the near future,
Yes,
like in September?
yes.
Okay. And then the other thing is we talked a few months ago about a place to have American flags and the branches of service, those flags, and do that in the community like several communities have done. And it seems like we haven't done much work on that. And I feel like our community needs to show our patriotism as much as we can, and that would be a great way to do that.
I don't understand, what's your proposal? Do you want them out year-round?
Well, no, we had talked about, there's, one person was gonna give a US flag pole, and we've gotta have a location, and then a lot of places do the branches of service flags, and then they do them in a circle, but anyway, to honor, all
We do
branches.
that on holidays.
Yeah, but a lot of people do it every day. They're
Well,
more
that's what I mean.
patriotic than we are.
Do you want it year-round? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I feel like that's much more important than getting on Facebook and talking about the hate thing. I think it ought to be given a higher priority.
Okay, I don't get on Facebook.
Well, I don't either, but,
Okay.
just for point of information, we've got a gentleman that served in Vietnam, was killed in action, that's buried at Monteagle Cemetery, Glenn Rollins, and I went by his grave the other day, and it's in terrible shape. He's got a VA marker designating his grave, but it's fallen in, and I think all of his family members are all deceased, all close kin, and that kind of, when I saw that kind of triggered the flag thing, and I don't know of any other family members that I could contact to find out.
What cemetery was it?
Monteagle.
Do they have an association that takes care of that, or
I have
who's
no
supposed to
idea.
take care of
Association,
the what?
a volunteer association. Bill Bennett is the one who's handling the cemetery.
No, I'll-
And he's the caretaker or person to contact about it. But anyway, I don't do the cemetery thing anymore, so I'm not familiar with it. But there's still a lot of people, Monteagle people here still remember, they grew up with Glenn Rollins, and they're familiar with him and his family. And the last one I dealt with, a brother lived out of state somewhere, and then his mother died probably 25 years ago, Miss Edith Rollins, I think was her name. But I think it's kind of pathetic to think that we've got a guy that gave his life for his country and our town, and we're up here talking about hate fences. Tony?
Glenn Rollins would have been a hero for the town of Monteagle.
Yeah.
If they had got some paperwork put together, Glenn would have been a hero for this town.
Well, again, I know nothing about it, but I'll look into that with you, Dean.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Brand?
Yeah, I'll try to be quick. We've talked about 4 or 5 different workshops that need to happen tonight. So if we could just make sure that we combine some of those issues and knock down the number of days that we'll have to do that. But it sounds like we've got a lot to do in September in terms of workshops. I would like to, let me give you a real brief update on the grant writer that we brought in to help us write grants for Imagine Monteagle and the city. The council's already approved her contract, and I just gave it to the mayor to sign, so that should be in place. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve that the council approves going after the Brownfield grant. It is due in sometime in mid-September, and Mayor, I know you just got back from a conference on this, but basically there's Brownfield grant, which is a 3-phased grant. The first part of it is they will come into your town and they will assess different parts of your town or different old businesses and stuff, or different properties, to see if there's any potential for a brownfield site, which would be a contaminated site that would need some kind of remediation. If I am not mistaken, I think for tier 2 and 3 counties, which I assume we would fall into. I don't know if we're tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3.
Which is the bottom and which is the top?
I'm assuming we're in the middle or the bottom, and I don't know which is which.
Marion's in the middle, and Grundy's more distressed than Marion.
So basically, the match for the brownfield grant is, I think it's 100% for the phase 1 if you are a tier 2 or 3 county. And I don't know which, I may have that backwards. But I would like to make a motion for the council to approve us moving forward with the application for this grant, provided that, and with the understanding that we may have at most 10% grant match, but likely to be a 0 match for our county status.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Discussion, yes, I attended a conference. They talked about it. They still have money available. They're encouraging applications. They analyze, do an overview, and sooner or later they mitigate. There are 3 steps. I don't recall them right now. But it seems to be a ongoing request and necessary for the future development of any town. They'll rate and let us know where Grundy and Marion and Franklin fall in, but I certainly have no objection to brownfield. It seems to be a large part of the agenda at the TDEC conference. Any discussions or comments on that, on the motion?
If the deadline is due before our next meeting, which it probably is, if it's a September
It is.
deadline,
It is, yeah.
our resolution is going to need to include an appropriation in order to apply for the grant if there is a match. So I'm asking the question out loud how we would do that. So if we do a resolution and we don't agree to cover the match, my experience with EPA is they're not going to like the grant. But if we don't yet know what our match might be, I would suggest we pick a not to exceed number to amend your motion to include a not to exceed number in case we need to match something.
Well, wait a minute, if I may chime in here.
Or else
Grant,
might
isn't
be
it-
special called.
Won't the grant writer advise us as to what the parameters are of that grant? If we apply for the brownfield grant?
Yes, and she sent me an email today about it, and I printed it out and I forgot to bring it with me. That's what I was saying, it's the tier 1, tier 2 thing. I can verify, obviously, before she applies, what that we will or won't have a match, but to make this, legal within the time frame, yeah, if we can, let's pick a number that would be a not to exceed that everybody agrees on. That way we don't have, otherwise we're going to miss the opportunity for the grant because we're waiting unless we call a special session. We've already got enough crap to do this.
Well, I hate to see us miss it because they're not to exceed was $2 less than what.
That's what I was
required.
thinking.
we
So,
thought we ought
It's hard to
have
pick a number.
Can we do a $10,000 not to exceed? And if for whatever reason it is going to exceed that, which I doubt very seriously, then I will come back and we'll have to maybe have a special called meeting to address it.
Is that a part of your motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the application, or us submitting an application for the first phase of the brownfield grant with an up to $10,000 match.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that too.
Is there a discussion on the motion?
Does that include the fee for her writing the grant, or is that separate?
That's built into the grant.
But the administration's built
Yeah.
in, okay.
Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's approved.
Thank
You have that?
Thank you very much. The second thing, this is more of a formality because it's already kind of happened, but Mayor, do we need to have a motion put on the table for the tourism grant that SETD is going to do for us, that they've submitted last Friday?
I would say so, to ratify what was done.
Does it have a cash outlay?
Don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't here Friday.
The tourism grant not to interject, you already have one open, so they could not apply for it.
That makes it easy.
Well, SCT, this was the 100K grant that SCTD sent to us,
Yeah, the tourism enhancement grant.
and they called and said that we could apply for it and asked for his permission, and it was due last Friday. We let SCTD do this instead of our grant writer.
It must not have a match list then. So we wouldn't need to do it if it doesn't have a match. We don't have to do a financial outlay. I don't think we have to officially endorse it. They usually want us to do a letter.
I would like to ratify the action.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
make a motion that we approve that Southeast Tennessee Development District applying for the tourism enhancement. Is that the correct term? Grant?
Yes.
So, I mean, they're acting for us in an official capacity. It looks like they would want that.
And just so you know, this money, I think it's up to $100,000 it's for a lot of different things, but what we feel like would fit into their constraints of what it can be used for is upgrades to Hannah Pickett Park and potentially a couple of other things. We could upgrade the pavilion with potentially lights, fix the bathrooms, maybe even a sound system that we may or may not need, but we can upgrade that. And then there was another suggestion. There's another suggestion that came up about another part of town that could use a little bit of that money as well. So that's the idea behind the use of the money. So did you just make a motion?
Yes.
I
Is there a
second that
second?
motion.
That's a second? The what?
Tourism enhancement grant.
Any discussion on the motion? Grant seconded.
Dean made the motion, I seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved.
That's all
Anything else, Grant?
No, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Dan?
Yeah, I got 2 or 3 things I wanted to ask about the potential of maybe taking down a sign that is pertaining to Jake Breaks. We had that sign erroneously put up on Highway 41 out, the one I'm referring to is out by the Armory. It's not legal that we do that, and I'm asking that we take that sign down. The second thing is, who mows the median between here and Bennett up there? Is that just, we're gonna leave that grow up and look like it looks right now?
Nate?
It's Scooter Bill and Cecil cut it for hay. So that's
Well, they
why.
didn't cut it for hay the first time, so,
They did. They cut it back in the spring. They were just late.
okay.
That's not city property?
No, it's it's city property to Overton Avenue, and then from there on out, it belongs to the different homeowners.
Okay.
And Cecil and Scooter Bill used to mow just the area that was off the city limits, and the DeBow Center used to keep this section mown.
All right.
And when
Scooter Bill
they,
give it up, he ain't gonna be mowing it.
well, maybe it must just be Cecil then.
Yeah.
But when the DeBow Center closed, I called Cecil and said, hey, you want to just keep coming? And so he's been cutting hay all the way up to the DeBow's entrance. I would assume when the DeBow's Center gets some more action that they're may take that back over.
Well, you got a nice little park right there by the
I agree.
track, and it.
It looks overgrown, yeah.
And then the third thing I have is the dead sign at Hardee's that sits there and doesn't do anything but look ugly.
Which one
Who's
did-
going to take that down, and when's that going to be taken
The
down?
2 poles, the uprights
Yes.
for the big sign? They're
Yes.
going to use that and refurbish the poles. I asked them about that over a month ago. And they said, no, they're going to use that. That would be a big cost to take down or to put a new one up. So they're going to refurbish those, including, of course, painting, and use it for their business. But I'll follow that up.
Hardee's is going to reuse it?
No, that's the.
No, that's the-
Texaco.
Yes, that's the convenience store sign.
But back on that mowing, if it's something that, is detracting from our area here, why can't, the city mows the schoolyard, why can't we just mow that and make it look like it should.
There's no reason not to. There just wasn't interest at the time, and that was my solution, to get it mowed
Okay.
interim. But if there's will
And
of
right
council.
now, we mow it one more time or two more times, and we would be done for the year, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that the city mow that area that Dan's talking about and put it on the list. I saw him today mowing down by, I guess, by your brother's place down there on the, what I call the old railroad property. So, I know they've done similar things. And
They
used
mow
to-
the street side 1 or 2 passes. And that's what was agreed to in the past. I will check and get back to you. I don't know if we need a motion.
Well, I don't know if the
Just talk-
city was mowing that. Someone was well, it was Clint. I don't know who Clint was mowing for, but he was up on the railroad property, which made it look good. I'm not complaining about it.
Let me look into that with Keith tomorrow.
Are you talking about on DeBow Street? Because I think the church
No,
is
I'm
taking
talking about
over.
up here.
Oh,
Ben's
between
place there. Yeah,
your
that
place.
lot there that ACUP, well, it's not ACUP, but
Yeah, the city's been mowing that for years.
yeah.
All right, which lot is this then? I thought it was DeBose. Where are you talking about?
Down by Ben's main attraction,
Oh.
this side that joins the assembly ground. And
It's
then,
assembly property, yeah.
Ben would be the other. There's one little spot there, I think, that's privately owned.
Because you know the assembly owns where the car wash was, so that's their lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check with Keith tomorrow and get you an answer.
So
Anything
you got
else,
a motion
Dan?
on the floor for the city to mow this over
Yeah.
here?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll call Cecil and let him know.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the Church of Christ is taking over mowing the other end of it too, so there may not be enough there to make it worth mowing at all.
Right.
That's why I wanted to review it, but Mr. Lay made a motion.
Thank you.
Dan, is that it?
Yep.
Nate?
Just 3 things. I know you love it when the alderman comments go long, but the first one, I wanted to get feedback on the new projector. So this was requested. People thought it would be better behind us. Is it big enough to see? Do I need to think about making it bigger?
Great.
Okay, great, great. Well, I'm glad we were able to move up into the 20th century. Sounds like we'll be surplusing that old VHS projector soon.
I love it.
Okay.
I did want to follow up on Grant's conversation about C1. So the Imagine Monteagle Committee formed a subcommittee to try to make some action on the zoning ordinance. We've had a lot of ideas, both within the Imagine Monteagle report and also from the consultants, about how to get our zoning ordinance a little bit more logical, a little bit easier to understand, how to encourage development downtown. We've now met twice. And I think we've made a lot of progress. We're looking at making it easier to do developments downtown, taking away some of the requirements that have made it difficult. I think the consultant said it well. Our zoning ordinance is set up for suburban growth, and we want a downtown. And you can't have a suburban growth pattern in the downtown, which is why nobody can build there, really. So we're making some progress on that. We're waiting on the consultants to come back with our second revision, and we'll try to work through some of those details. But the goal is that really to get an ordinance that's ready to pass in the next 2 months. So I hope we can get there. I think we're making a whole lot of progress. It's going to be different. I think, we've had a lot of good conversations about windows and trim and sidewalks and parking lots, and the overall goal is to make it easier and encourage people to bring some businesses downtown. Related to that, there have been a lot of questions about what we want the downtown Main Street to look like in terms of sidewalks and parking options and green space. And one of the issues is we don't have a good sense of what we own or what we want it to look like. So many of you are probably aware that the town currently has a grant to work from Assembly Avenue back to Catherine Avenue, and we're working through the design phase on that. It looks like there might be a little bit of extra funding in that grant. So I reached out to TDOT 3 weeks ago and requested 2 things. One, that they consider doing timing their downtown repaving, which if you've looked at downtown's Main Street, you know it's about ready for paving. So the first request was that they time that paving with our sidewalk work so that we could save some money and the grant didn't have to pay for all the repaving. It could just pay for sidewalk. And if they did that, would they let us extend that grant at least from a planning phase and come on through downtown? And so on Wednesday of last week, I got a call back from TDOT confirming that they've scheduled Main Street for a 2026 paving and saying that they're very open to working with us. So I'm going to be calling first the grant office to see if we can open up that funding so that the town can use some of that grant money so we don't have to spend some money to really begin to think about how we implement a better downtown. And it ties into the C1 zoning because I think everybody was in agreement that we want a downtown corridor that's walkable, that feels like the small town Monteagle that we know of mostly from history now because it's been gone for a while.
Is it part of the Mountain Goat Trail?
No, that I'm talking mostly about the south side.
I know, but so there's nothing with the trail.
So no, the trail has the grant, so the trail funding would cover this work through the rest of downtown. So I'm pretty excited to say that they're willing to have that conversation. I'll be talking to Multimodal and to the paving the paving coordinator for TDOT next week to see if we can get that rolling. So what that means is that potentially we could actually move from good ideas downtown to actually having some plans. And once we have plans, it's much easier to write grants when you can submit something that's shovel ready and ready to go. So I'm excited about that. Those were really the two things together. I wanted to talk about C1, I wanted to talk about TDOT. The last question I had is for the chief. Raylon, do you know, is there something that the city can do for the Voss family to help them? Have you been in contact with them?
I have been in contact with the family, and the city has went in with another individual, and we've done wreaths and things of that nature. But if the city wants to donate anything, there's a website that you can go to, and I can forward that link to you. So it is, they want to, any money or anything is donated, they want it to go to the Hero Fund for the canine. It's Canine Hero Fund. So
Would you send that to me and I'll pass it on and put it on the website?
I can.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay. Next, it's old business. I'll accept a motion to approve on second reading ordinance 06-25 concerning the food truck ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve the new food truck ordinance.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'll accept the motion on second reading of ordinance 11-25, the LED lights on the, that's on the walkway, right? On the walkway?
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 11-25 on the LED lights.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on that motion?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Is this the one you told me that was bid out because it was an emergency? I mean, it wasn't bid, it was just done because it was an emergency.
No.
So we took bids on this?
This is just for the lights. This is not for installation. It's not really clear where the installation costs are coming from. So this is just the cost of the lights
Last time
themselves.
I wasn't here last month, so I may have missed something. The month before last, somewhere somebody said $22,000.
Do you have the ordinance?
So this is what, as part of the Imagine Monteagle, we were trying to figure out how to get the lights fixed. And we found out
lights?
the lights on the downtown walkway, the greenway, that had all been replaced. And what we found is that it was going to cost us something ridiculous, like $600 or $800 per light to get them repaired because they were obsolete. And we were able to buy these for $220 a piece to completely replace them. And we authorized funding to replace 10 to see if we liked them. And then this came up to cover the cost of the rest of them in last month's meeting.
But there was no emergency.
I don't think this is related to the emergency.
But we didn't technically bid it either. We spent,
It's an amendment to take it from the street fund,
But
which is
did
what
we
we had
take
decided.
competitive bids is what I'm asking.
No,
We're supposed to do that.
I didn't think so.
For a product?
This is just a good, this is not a
Buy
service.
these lights.
There's no installation included in this
Was it in the
cost.
budget, in a budgeted amount?
It was? Yes,
So nothing, we didn't go over budget?
no.
Okay, we're in good shape then. We just can't buy anything else.
Okay. Any other discussion on that motion?
I didn't think about that.
Oh,
We're voting on a motion.
Oh,
Pay attention.
thank you.
all right, do you have a motion on it?
Yes, the motion's on the table, it's been seconded.
Who? Dan and Nate made the motion. Okay, is there any other discussion on this motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Under new business, approval for police vehicles. I'll accept a motion as we have budgeted, so we don't go over budget, for 2 police vehicles. Is there a motion for police vehicles?
I'll make a motion that we purchase one immediately and delay the second one until later on in the year, see our revenue stream and see where we are.
Do we have a bid to react to? Do we have any numbers in front of us? Or we just making?
But there's also,
Yeah.
one time, there was
Okay,
overtime on those, wasn't there, Chief? That we had to get those, typically you like to get those in by April or something to get the cars, or?
Yes, sir. So typically, best practice, let's just say we were completely loaded up on vehicles and we're replacing them, let's say every 2 years or every year. Then you would have those funds available, let's say in May, get the PO, order it by April so that you have it for for August. So, because typically there's about a 5-month window to get the vehicles, because you got to purchase the vehicle and then you got to send it off to get it installed. And so, yeah, typically that's how that goes.
But last year we did that
We did.
same way last year, correct?
Yeah, well, no.
No.
We just purchased one vehicle. We got that, so I think we purchased that in July, I think. And then we received it in November, I think. But we
So
just
you still
never.
had carryover money for one vehicle?
Correct.
So, yes, we budgeted for 2 vehicles last year and we did it again for this year. Unfortunately, we only bought 1 vehicle last year, so I know the accountants hate the word carryover, but yes, there should be some carryover from a budgeting standpoint of what we didn't spend on that. So,
Did we fund that in that capital improvement?
It went into the capital improvement fund. So
Yeah.
this is, as we were talking about, the capital improvement fund, the monies have to go into capital improvement to be able to make a capital purchase. We budgeted 2, bought 1, so the capital fund increased. And I'm with you, my inclination would be, since all our units are operating now, and Chief, you and I have had this conversation, since all I know that there are some that are long in the tooth, but my preference would be to keep on our schedule of purchasing 1 a year. And if we have a catastrophic failure, now we've budgeted for 2, so we can do that. But if we can stick to 1 a year, then those who come after us on this council should only have to budget for 1 a year, because they can begin to go out of service in a reasonable time and effort.
Was that a motion, Dean?
Yeah.
Was there a second to the motion?
So can you restate the motion?
So we purchased 1 now, authorized the purchase through the state bid. I'm assuming they're still
It is.
available. Are they still available?
Yes, sir.
And then that we, I guess we need to put those other dollars in.
They're already in capital
Okay,
reserves, so
okay.
they just need to stay there. And I'll second that. I
Okay.
do ask though, is there a priority? So I see one's the chief's vehicle and one's a patrol vehicle.
It'll be a
If
patrol vehicle.
would do a patrol vehicle, okay.
That's fine with my
Any
motion.
other discussion on the motion?
yeah, oh yeah, I have a discussion on it. He just mentioned that, there's a 5-month lead time. So if we're in catastrophic anything like that, we're down a vehicle for potentially 5 months, unless we go borrow one, which costs money now. So I hear what you're talking about in terms of a 7-year plan of 1 every year, 1 a year, 1 a year. That makes us replace them 1 a year, 1 a year and all. But I guess I don't believe the chief said, oh, let's go for 2 and hope we get 1. I think if he's in a need for 2, then I think we should, I believe we should, we've got it budgeted, we had it budgeted for last year and didn't spend it, that we should get them 2, but.
I agree, and I think that leniency should be toward the officers to have good equipment to work with. I know they're all running, and that's good, and my cars are running too, but they may not be running tomorrow. So, you know, I stand with Grant on that. I think we need to just buy the 2 vehicles.
Okay, any other discussion on the motion? Roll call.
Is there a second?
Huh?
There's no second?
I second.
Nate seconded. Roll call?
Dane?
Yes.
Grant?
No.
Dane?
Nope.
Nate?
Yes.
Mayor?
No. So now is there a motion to purchase the 2 vehicles?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to accept the police department's estimates here for the purchase of 2 cars, 1 patrol, 1 chief's unit, for a total of $122,767.33.
Was that the, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion on that motion? Roll call vote, please.
Dane?
Pass.
It's an abstention.
No, it's not an abstention, that's a
It's not an
pass.
abstention?
No,
Oh,
it's a pass. He's
Oh,
passing.
did you say pass? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
he's waiting till last. That's right, I forgot about passing.
Grant?
Grant?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Nate?
I'm gonna vote no, but the chief knows that I support his department and I support buying 1 car. I just feel like we need to be fiscally more responsible.
Yes.
Now it gets to go back to Dean.
Dane?
No.
3 yeses, 2 noes.
Thanks.
3 yeses, 2 noes.
You and I have never agreed on anything.
Motion passed, thank you. Now, the Tracy City contract with utilities, you've received copies, you've had chances to make comments. I'll accept the motion to approve the Tracy City contract, which will be sent to Tracy City for their action. Is there a
Make that
motion? Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. It was requested that the city record list be on the agenda under new business. I think there's been adequate discussion. Is there any other discussion on that under new business?
Not for me.
Oh, anyone else? I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
What was the contract with utilities?